My name is Matthew, and today we're going to be walking around this ever appreciating 2017 on a 67 registration Audi R8 V10 Plus Spyder, and I say ever appreciating because I believe that as long as these cars stay on the road, people are going to continue to fall in love with them. And as the V10 dies off, as we know that this is the last iteration, this is the end of V10 R8, these cars, I believe, are beginning to find their future sort of appreciation and their future values. And to give you a good example, this car is now more money than it was 18 months ago in the used car market, and there are so few now available. This particular example is one of the best. Only 2 owners from new on a 2017 car. It's covered 16,700 miles from new. It's got a full Audi main dealer service history, and the whole front end, side sills and carbon blades are protected by paint protection film. And being a V10 Plus, it is the best, in my opinion, of the first of the second generation, so I would call it 2.1. This is the best iteration of that generation of R8. So we're going to start at the front of the car and run you through all of the amazing features that belong to Audi R8. So this updated Generation 2 got a completely different front end. The clamshell remains, the whole front end being a clamshell, but we've got the black styling pack, which I believe is critical on the visuals of this particular car, and very neatly, the Audi Sport badge in the front grille there. Those front Audi famous 4 rings, part of that styling pack. And because it's a V10 Plus, all of the carbon fibre is as standard on this generation. So that includes this big front carbon fibre front splitter. Really interestingly, this was the first ever car fitted for the road, not just by Audi, but by any manufacturer, with laser lights. So the front headlights have got the daytime LED running light and a laser headlight beam with auto high beam assist on it, and some of those gloss black styling items to the front fins on the radiator grills there. Coming round the side, in this generation, this is without doubt the most popular wheel fitted to the car. It is a really intricate V10 Plus wheel, lots of detail to it, lots of V's off the spokes, and they're finished in gloss black here. And the Audi carbon ceramic brake discs, or braking system, which are absolutely enormous, have a beautiful grey brake caliper with the Audi Sport logo on them there. And I do always love that the V10 badge sits on the front of that clamshell there. Carbon fibre to the door mirror covers, as well as these huge side sills down the side, and carbon fibre to the side blades. And as I said at the beginning of the video, all protected by paint protection film. Car has got keyless entry and keyless go, which I believe is part of the comfort and sound pack. And again, a lovely option on this particular car. We have smooth leather to the tops of the doors and the tops of the dashboard. That is a cost option on an Audi R8. A really, really lovely extra as well. It does change the feel of the cabin in one of these. We've got the quilted Super Sport seats. They are the seats, or Sport Seats Plus. Huge amounts of adjustment in them. We've got illuminated R8 tread plates and puddle lamps with the 4 rings on them as you go down the side of the car. The whole of the engine cover is finished in carbon fibre as well. And the big giveaway on the performance, or the V10 Plus Spyder, is you get this amazing carbon fibre rear spoiler lip on the back of the car there. That is how you tell the difference between, or the real giveaway between a standard V10 Spyder and a V10 Plus in this generation. Now, let's talk about something really significant. I love the LED light clusters at the back of the car. I still think this car feels incredibly current and incredibly sort of aggressive, given its age. We've got the squared off exhausts, and I want to talk about the exhaust because this car is a 2017, which means it's before the OPF filters, which means this car still has a switchable sports exhaust button on the steering wheel, and I have to tell you, it is one of the best sounding as standard V10 road cars ever made. The huge diffuser section, all finished in carbon fibre. Again, very, very rare on this generation. It's a very, very nice thing to have, and I love the aluminium fuel filler cap, and it's a straight fuel system, so no lid to take off, straight fuel in, race car inspired. It's so, so special. And one nice touch is these center sections around the carbon fiber engine grills or engine bay moments here are actually finished almost in like a metallic gray. It's a really lovely sort of touch in there, obviously optioned by the first owner. I'm going to jump in now and run you through some of the interior features, of which there are plenty. And I still think, again, the design and the interior of an Audi R8 feels every bit 2025 supercar as it did back in 2017. It's so special as a cabin, as an event, everything that goes with it. If we look at the driver's door card, let's talk about the materials again. Look at the smooth leather on the top of the doors and on these concave cutout sections here, a really big difference for me. Carbon fibre air vents and carbon fibre sort of door placards as they meet the centre section of the dashboard. Bang & Olufsen surround sound stereo system, and it is surround sound because you've got speakers in the headrests on this particular generation of car. Automatic, folding, heated, anti-dazzle, electrically adjustable mirrors, and that's a mouthful, and obviously all electric windows. And as we come in, this is what we're talking about. So I'm going to turn that big V10 engine on, and it is loud, so bear in mind. And we're going to talk about some of the systems to go through here. So this steering wheel, flat bottom Audi RS steering wheel, fully perforated, full multi-function. We've got the big red start-stop button on the right-hand side, and critically, this button here. So on the facelifted versions of this car, so 2019 onwards, these no longer existed. The OPF filters came in and you were no longer allowed to have the switchable sports exhaust there. As you can see, I can now turn the engine sound to sport, and the car is warm, so I will give it a gentle blip just so you can get an idea of sound. And you realize how different this car is to the generation that came after it. Switch that back off so we go back into civilized mode. We've got big gear shift paddles left and right on the back of the steering wheel, all your Bluetooth controls on the right hand side and your multimedia functions, and then over on the left hand side, Audi's virtual cockpit system. This is the only screen in an Audi R8, so you run all your infotainment through this particular screen. It's currently set to full map, but if I press that button, you can have it in a map with a big rev counter in the middle, and all your power dials on the back of it there. And if I come back out and we go to the main menu, which I can also access down in the center console here, and we have a look through here, the car has Apple CarPlay, which is why you can see Audi smartphone interface there, and there's a USB port in the center of the gear tunnel. You plug your phone in and you can run your CarPlay through the center of the screen. If I pop the car into reverse, we also have a reversing camera. That populates in the center there, and I've got the very useful guidelines that adjust and the park sensors front and rear on the dynamic display on the left-hand side there. As we move just to the left, I don't know if you can see it here, but you've also got your cruise control down there. It's very tricky to spot. And one final thing to mention, if I come away from this screen, just so you can have a look at this, is this button down here, the checkered plug button. So if I put the car in drive select into dynamic mode, it'll allow me access to this particular button, which is basically the car's most aggressive modes. And believe it or not, we have a dry, wet, and snow performance mode in this particular car. I mean, how cool is that? And I'll just put the car back into comfort, everything will calm down. Center, dashboard, all in this beautiful smooth leather, carbon fibre aircon vent surrounds, and I've always loved these floating HVAC or air conditioning controls down here, climate control controls. I think they still feel just as futuristic as they did when they first launched this car. Heated seats for both driver and passenger, and some extra storage down here. So we have a cubby hole down there with 2 USB points in there and a wireless phone charger, and then under here we've got your traction control switches, your parking sensors override, and a start-stop function. A beautiful little slot there, which your key fits in perfectly. So really neat and tidy feature from Audi, thank you very much. And the big gear selector, which I've always loved the I'm gonna say the ergonomics of it. It's really well thought out. Your hand and elbow sort of rests perfectly in terms of where they've laid it all out. As I said, the extra controls for that center console screen. And one thing to talk about is this glass separator here, which sits behind the passenger, which sits behind the seats. Essentially, when the roof is off, that can be used as an added wind deflector to stop buffeting within the car, but also when the roof is on, you can pop the window down individually, have the roof on, but also get the unbelievable event of noise that comes from that V10 filling the cabin up even when the roof is on. We've got some extra storage, which was really missing in the very first generation of R8, which is cup holders. We have 2 of those in this particular car. And in the R8 V10 Spyder, you have a little extra storage compartment between the 2 seats. Now I'll run the roof. and show you what this car looks like with its convertible hood on, and then I will jump out and summarize. And it really is, as I said at the beginning of the video, I think given how few of these are now available, given the way the prices have solidified, and if anything from our experience seem to be going up slightly, they really have found their moment and are beginning to be a more appreciated car, and for something that I genuinely believe they deserve to be. My colleagues and the team, we've discussed this, you know, if this had a Ferrari badge on it as a V10 mid-engined sports car that was no longer going to be carried on, it would be a much, much more expensive car than this particular brand and model is now. But what an amazing example of an iconic piece of motoring, in our opinion. My name's Matthew. I hope this video's helped. Thanks for watching.